CaseLoad coaching from Denovo. Full practice management software built for modern law firms. Your practice performance matters.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to CaseLoad Coaching. Stephen and I are delighted to be back and looking forward to you joining us over the coming weeks as we run through Series 2 of our CaseLoad coaching sessions. We thought after a break we would kick things off with an overview of all the main CaseLoad features which have been updated over the past few months since we last spoke to you about CaseLoad specifically. And that's what you'll see today. Each week going forward, we'll be touching on new features, specific work types, and practice areas. And the objective really of Series 2 is to illustrate how simple this kind of software can be to use. We want to encourage anyone using the software or thinking about using it to look at text slightly differently. So not only will we be showing you how the software works, but we'll be clearly outlining the benefits to you and your firm. So whether your firm is currently using CaseLoad or not, we're sure that each of the sessions will give you some insight into how we can help you and or the firm be a bit more efficient. We'll also use the sessions to highlight how CaseLoad and the team behind CaseLoad can ultimately become an integral part of your business strategy to meet your goals or your objectives. So we're going to dive into this quite quickly because we've got quite a bit to get through. But just before I hand you over to Stephen, I just wanted to remind you that we will have a Q&A following on from the demonstration. So feel free to send us your questions. You can just type them to us and send them over if you have any questions during the demonstration itself. And then once we've finished the demo, we'll answer them all. All right. So Stephen, over to you.
Thanks very much, Grant. Great to be back. In this video, we're going to introduce CaseLoad and look at the overall features. We're going to cover the items like menu navigation and how you move around the application and get access to certain areas. Client in Matters, we'll look at and see how we add new clients and work with clients in Matters in terms of the event management and email management, and also look at how we add attachments and import attachments from other areas. We'll touch on some bookmarks and tags and allow you to see how you can use that functionality in the events view. Importing emails we'll look at. This is done direct through CaseLoad's link to Office 365, so it allows you to bring in the information really easily to clients in Matters. We'll touch on a demonstration of a little smart event we've got, which allows you to have workflow style automation. And we'll also look at standard document production from within the system, and then leads management and KPI reporting. Let's click on the CaseLoad shortcut to open the application. You'll see when the application loads, it will default to a section. That section is defined in System Preferences, so you're allowed the option to select which area of the software you would like to go to, whether that be all matters, matter accounts, or today's events or planned events for today. On the top menu bar, you see we've got dashboards, leads, accounts, event clock diary, time and date, credit slips if switched on, event calendars, and the help section. If we focus on the account menu navigation to start with, you see we can go into all clients, all matters, client account, matter accounts, and just a few different views and how you see the data access things. Some people will go in through all clients, some people go in through all matters. To find a matter, you would just type the name of the person or company in here, and you see you've got the option to search on name, description, address, postcode, various options in there. And whatever option you search on, the next time you do a search, it remembers that. So if you always search on account code in Matter accounts, it'll always remember that and default that as the selection option. So if you were just to search on a name, you'll see it's just going to pick up the 2 active matters against that name. If we were to clear that search and select the My Matter account icon, so this little icon up the top right here, and click on search, it's going to bring up, so 40 accounts shown, it's going to bring up all of my active matters in a list. The last option in there is a search all, and that searches against all accounts, so if there's accounts being archived as well, it will bring up those in the search. It's not switched on by default, but it does allow you to be able to search on that if you're looking to find a matter or job and it's been marked as inactive. On the left hand side, you'll see the panel for recents and favourites. Recents and favourites allow you to see the accounts you've been in recently, so the ones at the top are the ones that have been in most recent, and further down. So if you're working on some active matters or jobs within that week or 7 days, then they will show on the left hand side here as well. The second tab option is favourites. Favourites allows you to drag and drop from the left hand side to the right. So if we had these ones here that we wanted to be working on, we would select them from the main grid menu and drag them over here, and they'll now appear in favourites. So I'm able to access them quite easily without having to do a further search because they're listed in here. And once I'm done with them, I just click and drag them back across. There is an advanced search at this level as well, so there's advanced searches across all the application, and you'll see there's a lot more criteria in there. So if you needed to be a wee bit more specific about the office or the creation date, so if we wanted to only see My Matters created this year, for example, we could change the date in there to 1st of January. Do a search, and you'll see it's only now showing the one account, so there's only been one created this year. And when to know the advanced search has already been switched on, there's a little star will appear there. So it allows you to see that there is an advanced search criteria going on here. If we wanted to be finished with that, we would just click on the clear icon and do a search again, and it's now bringing up all active matters. It's the exact same at client level, so you've got your recents and favourites at client level. You're able to select those. Again, with the searching, it's the same, My Matters and search all, and the advanced search has a wee bit more information in there. So you're able to search on all this kind of criteria, the analysis criteria, and the job criteria. So there's a wee bit more advanced search capabilities at the whole client level. So if we just cancel that, we're now going to look at the Matter account view. So to bring up all matters, and I'm just going to drag this selection over to the left hand side. You'll see in here we've got quite a lot of information on screen. This can be customized, so you can have other columns in here, you can hide columns and save it as your preferred view, so there is the option to not have as much information on screen. It's up to the user preference as to what information they would want to have available. So if we look at the Matter account, we've got the code, description, and the client name. Those three are pinned, so they will always be visible on screen. So as you drag the menu across, you'll always see those panels on the left hand side to give you references to what these balances refer to. The created date is quite handy. You'll see as I hover over each of these, a little filter icon appears, so it's just in the top right. Clicking on them without touching the filter will sort them by date. So see that sorted them out into date order all the way down. But if you want to be a wee bit more specific, so you don't want to search if there's a large number of amounts of data, you wouldn't want to search individually, you can click on the filter icon and allow you to be a wee bit more specific about the date periods. So if we wanted to look at just this year, you'll see it's already filtered out the criteria down here to created on this year. And we've now got 32 accounts shown. As we scroll across, you can also filter on fee earner as well. So if we wanted to see accounts created this year by a particular fee earner, you see we can build that up as well. I'll choose a few just to show some decent information on screen. And as you scroll across, you can see the balance views of each one. To clear any of the search criteria or look at previous search criteria you've used, you see there's a drop down here to go back to the view you had previously. So if we wanted to just go back to the one that we had for just created, we can select that and it remembers it and goes back to that one there. Or if we're done with the criteria, we just click on the X and that'll bring us back to our main view. The same can be done on the numeric fields. So if we wanted to see the fees charged to date, for example, you see we've got some filters in here. So I'm just going to change that filter there to 1 pence. And you see it's now showing me all the fees charged to date and the total at the bottom. So we were to search that by order. You see it goes low to high and gives us the highest ones that we feed this year further down with the descriptions and names on the left hand side. And that can be done in any of the filters on the numeric fields. As we go further across, you will see last posted and last feed. So it gives you a bit more up-to-date information on the main screen as to what the status is and what's been feed or posted on recently. So if there's one that's a wee bit out of date, for instance, you maybe want to check the status of that if there is work being done and there's WIP outstanding or there's been work done on the client, you maybe want to feed them at that stage. We'll get into the individual matter account view in a little second, but I wanted to focus a wee bit on the new button at this level first of all. So on new in here, you can click on the new and it'll give you a list of actions to perform. That could be new lead, new account, new event, debit, credit slip and time entry. If you look at new account, there will be selectable options in here. So the ability to create a new client or contact only, ability to create a new client and matter with associated client and matter accounts. So that's the one that will typically be used to allow you to set up a new client and matter or job for the first time. And the last option we have in there is create a new matter and matter account for an existing client. So the client already exists and they've already done some work for them. You wanted to create a new matter or job for them, you would select that bottom option. Selecting the middle one for now, you'll see it'll bring up the option is to choose what the entity type is, company, individual, married couple, civil partners, pair. Married couple option, you'll see we're able to put in the husband and wife details in here on the left hand and right hand side, along with some other details which will populate through as you start to fill the information out. It's very self-explanatory, fill in the information and it'll allow you to follow through the wizard, create the client and matter account. We'll just cancel that for now. If we go into a matter now, so let's look at this one here. You see it's going to bring up some information here. A lot of actions on the top menu bar, which we will cover. If we look at the tab icons in here just now, you'll see we've got the matter tab with the matter description and information, along with the CRM analysis. The account information, so the account balance views that you've seen on the previous screen, they will show in here, so you're able to see all the information there. If you're looking for some more account information, there is a drop down available in here, which will allow you to see other balances as required. So if you were to click on all balances, it will show everything that's been done so far, work in progress, any current fees outstanding, what the client balance is sitting at, along with the criteria in here as well. This is where you would switch on, if appropriate, time recording in legal aid areas. Time recording tab will show in here, so you're able to see the fee and a breakdown of what's been charged against that particular client. And we do have the option for data pages in here. So if that analysis isn't enough and you're looking to capture a wee bit more information, we are able to pull in data pages and store information in there, which will allow you to populate items to document production. So this will bring in merge data into the letters and based on style templates and pull that information in, so you're not having to then rekey the information as you start to work and produce content for the client. The new button at this level has some different actions from the one in the main account level, because we're now at matter level. So you see we're able to do a quick new event, document production, send a new email to the client, as long as they've got a client email associated with them, and some other options in there. Add a new address, time entries can be done from in there as well. If we come back to document production and import from Outlook, and just look at these criteria tabs here, because the further details in here are the ones that are associated with the matter. So if you look at that accounts tab, you'll see anytime we click on a tab, it changes the scope of the menu at the top. So as we go through into different areas, that will always change the icons and give you some different actions to perform. So if you were to look at the postings or the list of fees, you'll see it'll change that and allow you to see all that from within the one window. The same with the reporting mechanisms at matter level. You see we've got a cash statement, inquiry report, and time recording inquiry report. So all of those can be run at matter level to give you quick reporting information against this particular matter or job. So you see in here as well, we're able to add link companies and other addresses, and we can also link to associated matters. So if there's another matter in the system that's associated with this, we can link to that as well. Looking at the events menu window, and I'm just going to maximize the screen just to give us a bit more information. You'll see in here we've got the ability to search on the events, so we can find against summary, details, or type. We've also got color coding in here, so if there's an event that's shown as planned, that will show in blue. If there's an event that's due today, that will show in green, and overdue events will show in red. So you can see there's a few overdue events in here which are marked as planned, but any action hasn't been taken against them yet. The icons you see in the top right are the show details panel. So if I click on one that has an attachment, you will see in there we're able to preview the content of this document without having to open it up in either Word or Adobe. So you'll see in there we've got multiple attachments on this one. So this is the terms of businesses that we've been sent out. So you see when you've got multiple attachments, there is a drop down available to select between them. So you're able to go between them and see what the contents of those documents were and read them through. You can open them at this point as well. So opening them will open up in Word. You can make any changes to the Word doc that you want to do, and then save it, and that will then update the attachment that's stored against the file. Like at Matter account view, the next icon along is My Events. So if we click on that, you see it's now just going to filter out the ones that are associated with myself all the way down. So all the events in there are now shown, because that's switched on and selected, are just mine. All the filtering that we had at the Matter account level is also available in here as well. So the date filter we've seen earlier, that's there as well, as is the event type filtering. So we wanted to filter just our DocuSign documents. You'll see we can filter on those, and then those are the only ones that are being selected as in the event type. The next two icons you see in there are events to export and events to email. What the events to export does is it opens up some tick box options in here. So if we wanted to export some of these documents out from CaseLoad to a folder, you see we'll tick a couple of boxes, and we'll have that one, and that one. So I've now selected 5 items, event items in there. If I now go back and say I'm going to have either just the attachments, just the events, or the events and attachments, I'll select events and attachments, and you'll see that's just going to run through the option to export those. So the progress bar runs along. Once that action is complete, it's now exported all of those events to a folder. So you see all the information. It's got the descriptions in there associated with each event ID. You can see the information that's been pulled through to the events. So from there, you could then copy them to an email or copy them to a pen drive if you wanted to, if you needed to export that information to a third party out of CaseLoad. The next option we have on the events view is the ability to do the same thing but with email. So we were to pick those two here that have attachments associated with them. Pick them on the left hand side, tick boxes, and then go back to the email icon and choose email event attachments. What that is going to do is it's going to bring up all recipients that are associated with this client, either at client level, matter level, or link company level, so they'll all be available in there. It will give you the option to change the event summary. So in here, you could just be saying email to client as the event summary. That's not going to be the default email description. That's going to come in when we directly link to Outlook. It allows us to create a new event, change the event summary, and when we click on OK there, that will populate a new email. And you'll see it's got the information in here, so the address which was selected, the reference with matter description, and also those 2 attachments, which we can just send on. That email is being sent. We can then refresh the events view. You'll see we've now got the email to client in here with both attachments selected and details of when that was sent to the client. It's been imported in there. Planned events view will just show that, so any view that's not an actual event will show in there as planned events. And the documents view will show all attachments associated with this particular job. As you scroll down, you're able to see everything in that order. So the export options are available in here as well. But what we can also do is search and filter on individual document type. So if we knew that the event or the attachments already that we were looking for was a PDF, we could select that from here, and this will just show all the document items that are PDFs. And you can preview those to see the one you're looking for. Filtering is in here as well, so you can search on each individual one. So you see we've got the filter switched on to only look for PDFs. Clear that, it will bring us back to the option to have all of the documents, letters that are on the file. Another option which you will have noticed in here is the ability to bookmark and show bookmarked events. To bookmark, if we were to highlight an event, so this one's a signed document, we're going to call that a TOB. So the way the bookmarks are configured is they're defined by work type. So as you go into matters with different work types, you can have different bookmark description names in there. So this one I'm going to tag as a TOB, so you see that's going to put a star against it, so that's been bookmarked as that. If we had other items in here which we wanted to tag as something else, so maybe that one's a report and maybe that one's a report, you'll see it start to filter those as well. So it allows you to bookmark key events that you would want to reference later on and need to get back to quickly, is why we would use the bookmark option. So if we were to show all events that had a bookmark, you'll see that's now updating the file with all of those there. So I know that these have all been bookmarked previously, so I'm able to find the information I need to quickly. If I didn't want to have all the bookmarks shown, I could have the option to just have the TOB and the reports, which we've done there, and you'll see that it filters that down to some less criteria to search through, and allows you to quickly bookmark individual events and get access to them at a later date. If you're in an event, it has a bookmark tagged on it. So you'll open this event here, and you'll see the bookmark event will show in there, along with some information in there. The information that, if we just go into an event view now, while we're here, the information you see in the yellow bar can be copy and pasted. So if you're looking for this information, I've just clicked on that once and it's copied all that information to my clipboard. So if I needed to paste that information in somewhere else, that's now available to me. You see on the event view, we've got start time and end time for the event. We've also got the status in there. So this one is an actual event. If we wanted to change that to a planned event, we can change that in the status drop down here. We can add an event type and subtype. So this one happens to be a DocuSign one. So we'll select that as such. Tags are available in here as well. Tags are slightly different to bookmarks in that they're company-wide and it's just the one list that's associated with them. So you'll see we've got a few options in there to show you what that would look like. You're able to pick ones, click on OK, and you see it then tags them as that. So when you see on the previous menu icon the ability to search on tags, you can do that from within there. So the ones that we've just tagged, you can find in there. So if we were to save that event, so I know that one has now got the tags of misses and offers. If we were to look and see any events that I have tagged against them, you'll see those now show because we've just tagged them as such. That one we've just tagged as missives, but this one we've got against missives and offers. So you see that the ability to then have quick access to ones that have been tagged to find them easily, and those are company wide as well. So any ones that have been tagged will show for everyone as they get updated. But if we go back to the individual event view, you'll see there is quite a bit of information up here, what we can do. So we wanted to keep this original event but create a planned event from it. We would create a follow-up. So what that's going to do is take that event information and allow us to set a planned event in the future. So we want to follow up on this event on Friday. We'll just do that and save and exit. So that's now created a planned event for Friday for that particular event. You can see we can go back to the matter level from here. So we wanted to open up the matter to get some information. We can do that from that event as well. From here, what I want to show you now is create a new event, and we'll choose an event type and subtype of correspondence, email out, and we're just going to create an event summary. Hit save. What it does is it opens up the attachments tab and allows us to either import from Outlook, from this matter, or from files. Click on import from files, you'll see it allows you to navigate to the files on your desktop, documents or downloads folder, so you can pick up something from there if you need to add anything to that. You can also import from Outlook. So what this does is it talks directly to Office 365 and allows you to pick up the email attachments on any document. So this may be something that you've scanned into your email and you wanted to pick that up to then add to this file. Or what you might simply want to do is pick up previous matter correspondence, and this may already be in here. So this is the documents view that we've seen previously. So if you wanted to pick up that PDF along with that email and that Word document, it's got those three selected. You click OK and it brings them into this event. What we can then do with this event is email that out to the client. So we've got the event type and the summary. We're going to choose to email the event with attachments. This will bring up a list of recipients to choose to send to. That's ones at client level, matter level, link company level. pick that one there. You can change the event summary if you wish to something else. We'll leave it at that one there for the matter description. See, that's pulled up the email now, so we've got the reference with the matter description and the contact to send the email to, and the 3 attachments. So we can just send that off to the client with the information going out. Now that that email's been sent to the client, we can exit that and go back to the events view, and you'll see here it's got the time and date it was sent, along with the details of to who it was sent, and also the attachments are here on the right hand side to preview. So those 3 attachments that we added as from previous matter correspondence, you can see are all now part of this event here. If we now look at the import from Outlook button, you will see this talks directly to your Office 365 mailbox. So inbuilt with CaseLoad, we don't need to have the functionality of having to use Outlook to import emails into Denovo. We can get that directly from CaseLoad, and it shows all the folders and all the recent emails in here. So what you will see is the inbox, it will default to inbox, but you can also look at sent items as well. So sent items or any other subfolders will appear there on your list. If you look at the sent items here, you can see this one has a tick against it, so I know that that's been saved previously against a matter. So I'm going to select the top one, and you can tick as many as you need. So the ones that you want to import against a particular matter, you can tick and choose to state them as actual events. And it's just a case of clicking import. What that then does is retrieve the emails from Office 365 directly. Depending on the size any of the file attachments, it may take a wee second to get those and get them sent in, especially if there's large attachments like a PDF. But you'll see once it's retrieved them, it will import both emails against this particular matter. So those 2 that were sent today come in. You'll see that it's done an auto refresh of the events view, and they're both now shown against the event with all their attachments. All there. The other option you have on the import from Outlook is if we're not at matter level, so I've just navigated now back to the main account level, you'll see we've got a subtly different window here from what we had in against the matter. The tick remains the same, so all these ones that are ticked means we're nice and tidy. We've got all these saved against a particular client or matter. And you'll see the window on the right hand side has a bit more information. So if we wanted to save it at a different level, so maybe client level, matter people or lead level, you see you've got those options in the drop down there. With the built-in functionality in CaseLoad, we have the ability to save emails directly to a matter without having to select the matter on the right hand side. The reason you see this reference going out in some of the emails now, and these ones will be particular to individual firms, they'll have their own reference associated with that. If you tick those and they've not been saved previously, so I was to pick that one there, it's got the reference. I'm not searching for a matter on the right hand side. I'm simply going to click and drag it across. Because I'm sending one email, it will allow me to change the event summary. That's the event summary that's saved against the client. It's not going to affect anything to do with the subject of the email. In this instance, I'm just going to click OK, and you see that that's going to import. So that's now been saved against the matter without me having to search for it. If it's not been sent with a reference, or if the client's emailed you directly, for instance, you may want to have to search for a matter yourself. So we'll search on Buchanan for this one. You see we've got the list of cases on the right hand side. You can access the cases from here as well. So if you wanted to go into that one, you can double click and it will take you in to see details of the job. But if you just wanted to click some of these ones down here, so say we'll take that one there, take those 3, you can just click and drag them against the particular matter. And again, that will retrieve the emails and import them direct. It's a nice, quick, easy way to save emails against matters. We'll do a refresh on that view. you'll see the ones that were selected have now got the ticks that have now been saved against that particular client or matter. On this window here as well, if we were just to clear that search, you do see we do have the My Matters option in there. So because that's searched against Buchanan, previously I've clicked on My Matters and it's bringing me up these options here. If I was to just do another search again, it will refresh the view and give me all my associated matters. Like your recents and favourites at the matter account level as well, so just up the top here, you do see we do have recents in there, so that's the ones that I've been in recently, and that's the favourites from the ones that we selected earlier. We left those two in, and they're now shown there. So I wanted to tag, send that one there to that one over there. I just click and drag and drop that over. And that's it now saved against that particular matter. Option in CaseLoad I want to have a look at is smart events. Smart events allow us to do mini workflow style automation to produce items of correspondence to clients without the necessary manual input that you may have done previously. So we're going to choose this one, Smart Events in Initial Purchase Docs, and I'm going to just click Event Type and Summary and Save and Exit. What that's going to do is it's going to build this pre-populated email style template that's going to go out to the client. This can be as simple as the attachments get created from that and we send that out to the client. The one that I've set up here has a wee bit more detail in it, so in this instance we're going to be sending some documents out to the client via DocuSign. Again, that can be set up. You can add other attachments here if you wish from the database or from files. So you wanted to add previous matter correspondence at this point, or you wanted to have attachments created, this can all be added in here and we could just send that off to the client. In this instance, what we've done is we've set that up as a smart event with DocuSign capability. So the system's now going to generate 4 documents for me based on what the criteria I've set it to do. So all these style templates appear in the system already. All this is doing is bringing it in all the information and sending it to the documents from the file. So you see that's going to tell me that for this new house purchase, that the letters I've created are now available in Word. So you'll see in there we've got 3 Word documents and an infographic PNG template that would just be sent out to the client. You have the option in here to edit these documents. So each one in there can be edited, so if you need to add in more information or update anything that's contained in those letters, you can do that here. Once you're happy with the content of the letters, it's just a case of closing each one down, and we're now ready to send that off via DocuSign. Again, like before, we don't have to do that via DocuSign. That can be used. These same style templates that have been created from the system can just be sent out as an email to the client from here as well. In this instance, we're just going to send those out via DocuSign. The clients received those documents via DocuSign. You'll see here from one previously that we have full tracking information available in the event, so we know that it was sent, delivered, then signed. And once it's signed, it's automatically downloaded against the event for you to see all the documents that were DocuSigned by the client. For document production on its own, we can either do that at the matter level, or we can go back to the main level and select document production. You'll see some criteria choices here in this drop down. The ability to create it for a selected matter, for a linked company or selected addresses. The majority of the time you're going to create a document for a selected matter, and it's going to ask you which style template in the system to use. You can have access to your drop-down list of style templates. They're usually grouped into work types. You see some of those are listed here. The ones you use more often will start to populate into most recently used templates, and you can select those from here as well, so they can be picked off. Or you can search for a particular template by either description or file name. Any of the search criteria in this box here will allow you to search for those in there. And if you have recent searches, they will appear in this drop down. If we pick the top one here, we'll just do this shell letter. You'll see the event type and subtype will always default to whatever you've set in the system. This will normally be correspondence, letter, email, fax sent out, and the summary would default to the name of the template. That can be changed, so this is going to be the event summary, so if you wanted it to be something different, you could change that in there. If you're looking to create a follow-up event from this, so creating a planned event from the action, you can click on create follow-up event, choose a summary in there. We'll just put that in there, and we'll choose to put a date in there as well, so we'll do 26 on for that one. You would just click next, and we're just going to create the document. So nice, simple document production. All of the information that has been stored against the client in terms of the address and details will be pulled through to the style document template and allowing you to make any further edits you need to do before saving the document. From there you can print or email the event. You'll see in the events it's just created that event there with the letter, and that's your attachment there previewed. And you see further up we've got the planned event we created for the next week. I'm now going to shift the focus slightly and move on to another area of the software we call leads management. Through a partnership with various firms, we discovered there was a need to grasp every opportunity that came into the firm, and we've developed this to offer that opportunity to be able to create that for you. The idea here is to give an area of the software where you can take brief details of who a potential client is, what they're interested in or needing help with, and that information can then get passed on to another person in the firm. So you're not even to have bits of scrap paper or send emails back and forth about calls and opportunities. Leads management allows you to nurture the potential client and give you all the usual facilities of being able to email from that, produce documents, do smart events, and have that all recorded in events. This is separate from the client database, and you're able to start to track your leads in here with some color-coded rules to allow you to monitor the status of leads, and also the ability to convert them to a full mattering client without you having to put all the necessary information in, and any events that you have when they're at lead level will be carried over to the full CRM client and matter level. So you'll see we've got some leads in here. I'm just going to open one here so we can have a look and see what the criteria looks like. So a bit like the CRM analysis, you're able to capture when you create a new lead, the system will automatically allocate that a date and time. You would select a source, which would be mapped from your sources of business, or you would create your own lead sources in here. Same with the lead type, would generally map towards the work type. The status, we would have a group of statuses available to select from, and you can create your own as well. The idea behind that is we decided that you would want to have potential new inquiries shown as maybe red, ones that are being worked on as green, ones that are being converted white, ones that are being lost go grey, and ones that refer out go blue. Your own colour code rules can be applied, but that gives you an idea as to what we're looking to achieve with that sort of information. And there is space available for additional lookup types and text boxes you can see here on the left hand side. The assigned owner is important because if you assign this lead to another fee earner in the firm, they will get a notification in CaseLoad to say that that's been assigned to them. And we can also have email notifications switched on as well, so you can actually email that out to the fee earner or solicitor as well. And the department's important, it just lets us measure the metrics, and when we get onto some KPI reporting later on, you will see that becomes a bit more important. So in here, if we didn't have the information in there, we would just populate through the name and address, and you'll see that just brings those in here, and you can add the address in there with some details and email address. You'll see the usual functions that are available at lead level as well, so you have document production. So any documents that you have available at lead level will show in there. import from Outlook as well, so we can import emails from Outlook and save them against the lead if we would like to. And they'll just show in events as normal. So there's some lead smart events that we've taken earlier, so we've sent those out to the client. You're able to see some information there that's been sent out. And the next option in there is to convert the lead. So once you're happy that the client's going to, the potential client is becoming a client in Matter, you convert the lead. The information that I've already put in will be pulled through, and anything you don't already have at that stage can be added, and then they get converted as a full client. On the main menu window, you will see those rules I talked about in terms of the colour coding, so we can see different colours in there. We can see when they were last updated, so we can then, anytime an interaction takes place with a lead, that gets updated to the current date, so that it allows you to monitor and see what the status and progress is of that. You'll see some of these have been converted already to clients or jobs, and they will show in with an icon as well once that's taken place. If we were to open one up, you will see another tab appears to take you to the associated matter, so you can access the matter from there and see what's been done on the matter since it was converted from a lead. Some of the other boxes just further along allow you to report on, so if we wanted to group our leads by owner, for instance, we would click and drag the owner up, go back, and you can see how many leads we have for each person. You can just expand on that to see what the status is of each. You can do further grouping in there, so if we take this one that has a bit more work types associated with it, if we were to go with owner and then do it by lead type, you'll see it then starts to break down the lead type of each owner, and you can get the list from there as well and start to work on the leads. Another view in leads management that I find very useful is the ability to filter on certain leads. So up the top, just beside the search bar, you'll see there's the ability to change what you view. So it might be the case that you no longer want to see the ones that are lost or the ones that have been referred out. These are the ones that are shown in grey and blue. So day to day, you're not really going to be working with those inquiries, so it's not something you're going to want to see. So changing that criteria, and if we go back into that one there and have a look at the leads we now have, you'll see they're all green or white and red. So the red one demands an action, the green one's been worked on, and the white ones have been converted. You may even not really want to see the ones that be converted after a certain time period, but there's options in there to have that as well, and that to be filtered out as well. What this then leads on to is the ability to report on this. So we'll load up the leads KPI here. You'll see we've got the weekly metrics showing as to what the current status is for that week. Down here on the graph, we've got the ones that have been converted, followed up, lost, etc. And the same with the department ones. So you can see the level of inquiries coming in across each department, and it allows you to see what ones are busy and what ones are converting more leads than not. These can be drilled down as well, so if we click on converted, you can see we've got a number at conveyancing and criminal level, and drilling those down further, you can actually see it by fee earner and also by the description and the name of the leads that have been converted. Moving on a little bit further, if we go and look at the dashboard view and we expand out the window and have a look, you'll see we've got a number of reports here that are just sample reports that we have in the system. So this new matter report can be quite useful. You're able to see per individual fee earner which matters have been opened over the course of a year, and further back in the matter report you're able to see how that looks on a month-to-month basis. For the firms that do a reasonable amount of time recording, the WIP by department report is also really useful. You can have date metrics to show in there to pick specific date periods, but this allows you to see how fee earners are performing day to day in terms of the WIP accumulated on each day, along with the time that they've built up on each day as well, and their totals for the week. We've also got that comparing out as to how that looks on a daily average for the last 30 days, and also the daily average for the last year. It's quite a useful one for the firms that do a reasonable amount of time recording and are able to see how fee earners are performing week to week. If we then look at the fees raised report, you're able to see month by month the figures being raised by each department. So you'll see in the conveyancing one, if we just expand some of these out, you're able to see the breakdowns individually for the individual fee earners and what that looks like per each fee earner within specific departments. You'll have the current month here on the right hand side, and the same with the fees paid. Going back to the reporting level, we can have reports in here as well, so they can either live at the dashboard level or they can live at the accounts level. It's totally up to individual firms whether they would want to see each of the reports. And if we look at the fees outstanding one, which is similar to the fees raised and paid, but it just shows outstanding, you see we've got the breakdown in here of individual fee earners, what the fees outstanding are for each person, and if you expand on that, you get access to the list of that as well. If you
So I hope that gives everyone a good overview as to what the software can do in terms of reporting and how you can use CaseLoad day to day. We will be covering a lot more of those features in depth over the coming weeks, but I thought that was a kind of high level overview as to what you would need to see on the functions, and just gives you that kind of insight as to what you can do with the software. We will cover that in a lot more detail in certain practice areas, as Grant alluded to earlier, over the coming weeks.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a very good overview to begin with, and shows just how far some of the features have came since the last time we showed some of them. So a lot of work being done over the past few months, which is great. So hopefully everyone finds that beneficial. We don't seem to have had many questions coming in. I think that might be due to the fact that there was quite a lot of information to take in. But what is great is that the session itself, as always, has been recorded. So what we'll do is we'll get that sent out to everyone. So if anyone does have any sort of burning questions or just wants to have a chat to us, maybe you're in the process of thinking about upgrading from our older version of the software to CaseLoad, or you're currently using it and just have general questions, please do feel free to either get in touch with Stephen or drop a line to the team. We'll definitely be able to answer any questions that you have. And like I said, the session's been recorded. You may have noticed that our website's been updated and redesigned recently. So you'll now find the recorded session in exactly the same place where you registered, to be honest, in our news and events section of the site. That video will be live tomorrow around about, well, roughly the same time, 3:30 tomorrow. But we will get an email sent out to everyone with the link as well. So that's the end of the first session back of CaseLoad coaching. Hope you enjoyed it. We will be back next week. We'll get an email sent out to everyone to let them know what we're going to be doing in the next session. So thank you very much, and we'll see you all soon.
Thanks.